One person is dead and 3 others are hurt after a construction collapse. It happened in Blainville, Quebec. That's on the North Shore, north of Montreal and north of Laval. This still image shows some of the devastation. Again, one person is dead and 3 others are hurt. For more, let's bring in CTV's Kelly Greig, who joins us from Blainville, Quebec, with much more on this breaking news. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us. Fill us in on what we know so far about this tragic incident.
Well, what we know is that the incident happened around 11 this morning when one of the walls, now this is in a hole in the ground, one of the walls collapsed at this construction site. This is the site of where there should be a multi-story condo building going in, but one of those walls collapsed. Now, in that collapse, along with the debris, there is a number of twisted metal, also a construction trailer, and 3 vehicles also fell into that hole. One person was killed. Their body is still within that rubble. It's a very delicate operation to try to recover that body. 3 other people were injured, 2 of which were sent to hospital. One was treated at the scene for nervous shock. Police and firefighters here now have that delicate operation, as I mentioned, of trying to recover that body. They need to make sure that the sides of the hole are still stable enough for rescuers to go in and try to get that out. But they're not sure yet how it's going to happen because they were lowering firefighters down on a rope earlier. That's how they got some of the victims out, but they are not exactly sure where that person who has died is in the rubble. So that's the next steps of the operation right now.
Kelly, we're just seeing a picture of this, and just the sheer size of this collapse, it just shows the pure devastation here. Are crews confident there are no other people trapped at this time?
According to police, there was a head count done of construction workers. They say everyone else appears to have escaped and are safe and not injured, except for those 3 and the person who has died. So they said that was one of the first things that were done. There were trauma workers here on the scene for the other construction workers that were at this site. We don't have a word yet of how many workers were on the site. It is quite a large construction scene here in Blainville. And right now, those workers, we did see them kind of leaving, hanging around a little bit, but appears that everybody else is safe.
Obviously, as you mentioned, they're still in the process of trying to retrieve this body, but I'm assuming at this point an investigation will soon get underway. Do we know anything about that?
So the CNESST, which is the workers' board, will lead that investigation. We also spoke to the CSN, which is a union that represents a lot of construction workers, and they were wondering, after the heavy rains we received here in the Montreal area recently, if perhaps the walls were slightly shifted by that, or if there was structural damage to the walls considering those heavy rains. They're not certain about that yet. That's something that will be looked at. But as there was a death involved, the CNESST will take charge of this investigation. It's also worth noting Quebec's Labour Minister did tweet out his sympathies to the family in what was a terrible incident here this afternoon.
CTV's Kelly Greig joining us live from Blainville, Quebec, a community north of Montreal, with the very latest on this breaking news. Kelly, greatly appreciate your time. Thanks so much for this.